Hi, folks. This is Don Meisner with a North Country Fishing Report. I've looked forward for actually several years, but this year in particular, to going trout fishing. It's been so long since I was able to or chose to do that, but this year that was one of my goals. So, trout season rolled around in the beginning of April, and living up here so far normally makes it really difficult because you've got almost icy conditions in the streams. You've got cold snow melt coming down. The waters are high, they're dirty, and the trout are very, very almost dormant in some time. And a lot of times what they'll do is they'll congregate in the deeper pools. Well, this year we've had a milder winter, so the conditions are almost a month ahead. And I searched out some of the streams around, and I picked a stream almost in Franklin County. We're still in St. Lawrence County, but almost over in that area. And I went. And it had been so long, I'm thinking to myself, I'm not sure how I used to catch them. Growing up as a kid, I fished trout every single day. Well, let me get to the heart of the matter. I found this stream that I thought might have some fish in it. And I picked an area that I thought those fish might be in. And the one thing I have learned through all the years of my life is how to read water. I think that's one of the most important things we can do. So I looked at this series of waters that had made this area more attractive to me, more approachable. And I chose a spot where I saw the current had picked up speed, but it was dumping down into this long pool. And so I knew right in that area might be where those fish would be holding, because they're still not going to be that active. As the water temperature increases, fish become much more active. But at this point, I didn't expect them to be. So I wanted to choose something that moves slowly. And I tried every spoon, spinner, soft plastic bait that I had, and they looked wonderful. And I'm thinking, what is the matter with you trout? Don't you see this wonderful stuff going by that should taste great? No, nothing. So finally I thought, I've had these packages of Berkeley Gulp, and they're artificial lures that Berkeley claims are biodegradable, that taste like food to the fish, so that if they do hit it, they're going to like the taste. And they're also going to smell it, and that's going to draw them to it. So all this hype, I put on this 3-inch Berkeley Gulp minnow. And I put it on a little bitty hook, a size 10 hook, and I hooked it right through the nose, and I fished it as I would some kind of soft plastic, twitching the rod, reeling it slowly. And I had been fishing at this point for over 2 hours without a strike, not leaving that area that I felt would be the place the trout would be. And all of a sudden, I felt a strange feeling. Wait a minute. This is a feeling I had years ago when I started trout fishing. Something had hit it. And I set the hook, and lo and behold, I ended up catching the most beautiful brown trout. I measured it. It was 17 inches. Now, for those of you that don't fish trout, that may not impress you. But if you fished stream trout before, you know this is a big fish. And I was in glory land. I thought I had really found something. Well, did I? Cast out again, 3 casts later into the same water. Tap, tap, tap. Set the hook. The rod doubled over, and then it went free. The hook had pulled out. Over the course of that day, I caught one more, and this one was 14 inches. And so I decided that's it. I've had a wonderful day. I've caught my trout. But that night, I started thinking about it. And the next day, I was compelled. I dropped everything else that I was going to do, and I went back to the same spot. And on this day, I caught one fish. But again, it was a beauty, and I did have 2 other strikes. Now, remember, I'm fishing with a little bitty hook and fish just in the nose, so those fish have got to gobble that. Well, I ran out of 3-inch gulp minnows. All I had now were 2.5-inch. Is this going to be too small? Will the fish still react to it? Lo and behold, I think they reacted better. So, at the end of a week, and I didn't go every single day, but I went 3 days, and during that week, I caught 7 brown trout, and they were all beautiful, and they were all had colors, and we ate 2 of them. And I got to tell you, all I do is catch and release fish. We might eat 1 fish a year, but it had been years since I caught trout. And a lot of times trout are put and take in most of our streams. They're designed to be taken. The DEC might feel they might not survive a whole year anyway. But with all these defense mechanisms in me, trying to keep away my guilt, I kept 2 of them. And all we did, I cleaned them, didn't fillet them, just coated them with olive oil and broiled them. And I got to tell you, they were the greatest tasting fish that I think I've experienced in a long, long time. And I'm including wonderful salmon, and I'm including fish that walleyes, fish that are just so prized for their eating. So anyway, that's my trout story. I'm enamored with my luck. I feel that I've only begun to explore the surface of all this. I'm going to try some marabou jigs that should look like a woolly bugger in the water, things that I don't need a fly rod to do. And don't misunderstand, I love fly fishing, but I am certainly thrilled with my new fly and trout fishing adventures. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.